How's it going, troops? My name is Ace Cosplay, and today I'm taking you through how I made my Sam Raimi Spider-Man Green Goblin helmet. Some of this tutorial will unfortunately be in pictures rather than a full video because I didn't film the entirety of the making process, but hopefully you still get an idea of how to do some of the basics if you want to make a helmet like this or something similar. The whole shape of the mask was created in craft foam. By eye, I worked out the shape of all the different segments, first in paper, then transferred that to foam, slowly building up bit by bit, just using hot glue to stick all the small pieces together. If you want better reference for the mask, you can get Pepakura files online, and you can either use that to build or just use it as a guide. The teeth at the front of the mask were made in a thicker EVA foam and were sanded down with a Dremel to get the right shape. Once the build of the mask is complete, you then need to coat it with 3 layers of PVA glue before brushing on several layers of rotary casting resin. The brand of resin I used is called Polytech EasyFlow 60. The resin is very runny, so it's best to work on it in sections. This is an example on one of my other prop builds of using the rotary casting resin. Just do a thin layer, wait for it to cure, then do another layer. You'll get through a lot of brushes doing this method, so it's best to find some cheap ones that you can throw away. Once you're happy with the resin, sand it smooth and fill in any gaps with car body filler. Sand that down again using some fine sandpaper before applying a layer of filler primer so it's easy to see if there are any gaps that you missed. You can get filler primer in normal aerosol spray cans or for paint guns. As it's a thicker primer, you will need to use warm water with some wet and dry sandpaper to smooth out the roughness of the paint after each layer. For some of the smaller areas that needed filling, I used a finer, more flexible filler, then sanded it all down with some more wet and dry before adding a final layer of primer. This layer of primer will also need to be sanded down with the wet and dry paper and warm water. Now for the colour. To paint the teeth, I masked up the helmet and sprayed some matte black on the front and the back of the teeth before spraying on some chrome on some tissue and wiping that over the surface of the teeth. Once that was dry, the teeth were covered and the helmet was painted using car paint with the help of my dad, who has experience with proper paint guns, but you can use normal aerosol if you can find the right colour for it. And this is the final result. A cooking splatter screen was used as the mesh for the mouth. It was spray painted black before being glued into place on the inside of the mask. The last bit of the helmet is obviously the eye lenses. These are actually plastic soap moulds. They're egg shaped, which you can heat up using a heat gun, and I just pushed it in from the back of the mask out to the front so they moulded more with the shape of the actual mask. And you can see through them quite well. And for the gold tint on the inside, there was a little bit of a cheap window tint I got online. I just cut it up so it sort of fit more with the shape of the lens and stuck it on there so no one can see in through the lenses but you can see out. On the inside you can see as well there's just a little bit of foam to help it sit on your head a bit better, and you can sort of see the rough work on the inside because that's all the foam, because it was resined on the top of the helmet here, just to add a little bit more strength but not on the inside. And as it's a rotary resin, if you want to do it on the inside, just pour a little bit in, just roll the helmet around a little bit and it will then set, so it just means the top of it's that little bit stronger. If you do want a good detailed look at the actual technique of resining foam, I will link you down to a video in description by X-Robots, which is the tutorial I found for actually doing it. I think it was one that he actually sort of thought of himself, which is a pretty cool idea. It will just show you a little bit more step by step clearly how to do this, so you can make some really cool intricate foam builds and then with a little bit of work actually turn it into something that's solid and wearable. So the Green Goblin helmet in the movie is actually a 2-part helmet. You've got the front and this bit at the back would be separate, so you'd slide it on the actor's head and push it at the back, but I just wanted to make this one part here, so just to get it on you have to slide it on, and it's quite a tight fit to keep it sort of more in with the shape of my head and the body for the rest of the suit. Very slowly slide it on. Then it sits on your head. And this is what it looks like. So the splatter screen does obscure some of your mouth, but not a lot, so you can actually still see the mouth through it like they do in the film. And I can actually have really good vision through this. I can see pretty much most of my surroundings. See it just apart from a little bit on the side and on the top, but apart from that my vision is really good in this helmet. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility, unless you're the bad guy, but let's face it, it's way more fun.